Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Recovery Classroom. My name is Drew. I am an alcoholic, and today I'm a recovering alcoholic, and I cannot be any more grateful. If you are local to the Huntington, West Virginia area, I want to personally encourage you to come on down tonight and hang out with a group of drunks and drug addicts, all sitting around talking shop, talking about how we got sober and how we plan on staying sober tonight at our Crosstalk Friday meeting. It's open to the general public, 5747 East Pea Ridge Road in Huntington. The quickest hour in recovery. Man, it goes by so fast. It's like you blink and the meeting's over and you're like, shit, well, now I got to go outside and have the meeting after the meeting, right? Tonight at 7 o'clock, we'll see you there. I want to talk about my driving record. Not that I necessarily have a driving record, at least a legal driving record. I guess my driving record's okay. I don't know. I've had a few tickets. But I want to talk about the non-documented version of my driving record. And what I mean by that, I want to kind of build off the conversation from yesterday. I failed at a lot of things, but for, I'd say overall, I was moderately successful in my life. That's all I ever wanted, was just to be successful. I'm sure you did too, to some degree, especially regarding certain things. You wanted to be successful, and there were areas of my life where I was very successful. I was very driven, goal-oriented, ambitious, and I was successful. There were areas where I wasn't successful, okay, and there were areas where I may have struggled, but I was ultimately successful. I think overall I had a pretty successful life. Wasn't perfect, didn't achieve everything I wanted, but I had a pretty successful life. The one thing I could never achieve, though, and I couldn't understand this, was I could never manage my drinking. I could never master the ability to take one drink, just like the guy beside me, or the guys, the rest of the people in the room with me. I couldn't just take one drink and walk away. Once I took that first drink, man, game on. And as I alluded to yesterday, I spent years telling people, you just watch me. I don't have a drink. I'm not an alcoholic. I don't have a drink problem. I have a management problem. I have a discipline problem. It's a matter of self-will for me. Just, and I need to exercise that, right? And it's just like a muscle. I remember using that as an excuse too. It's just like a muscle. You need to exercise, figure out what I did wrong, and get stronger and stronger and stronger. Well, that didn't work because I kept repeating this cycle of insanity. Get sober, relapse. Get sober, relapse. Get sober, relapse. Well, after a while, I created a record of me driving the car because, after all, wasn't I the one responsible? If I was so successful and I wanted all the credit for being successful in all these other areas of my life, and okay, I had to admit failure in these areas and that was fine, but I wanted to be successful in with my drinking. I was the one responsible for that, nobody else. So it was my driving record, it was my history. It was my history. And finally, the alcohol police pulled me over one day and said, we see your history of trying to control your life. We see the history of you trying to be in charge of your alcoholism, and it sucks. It sucks. And then, man, that was so true. See, every time I got behind the wheel of my proverbial life vehicle of life, I crashed the son of a bitch. I ran it off in a ditch, ran it off a cliff, and crash and burn. And I'd proven that. I spent years proving that, adding to my driving record. And I've said this 1,000 times, I actually took step one long before I came back into the rooms. Before I came back into the rooms, I'd already admitted that I couldn't control my drinking. I'd already admitted that every time I was in charge of my drinking, I failed. I already admitted long before I came back into the rooms that whenever I was driving my vehicle of life, this vehicle of life, when it came to managing my drinking, I couldn't steer the car at all. Matter of fact, I just hit the gas and hope for the best. Time and again, I created that driving record. And so when I came back in the rooms, I'd already admitted defeat. As I shared yesterday, I'd already admitted defeat. I'd already admitted failure. And so the next step was, logically, come to believe that the power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Well, I already believed that there was a power out there greater than me that could restore me to sanity. I just didn't know if he would restore me to sanity. And I guess in some respects, maybe the jury's still out on that too. But what good is taking a step two if I'm not going to take a step three, right? And so I had to finally get out of the driver's seat of my car because, again, we saw, my higher power saw my driving record, right? I knew my experience and my history with trying to control my alcoholism, trying to control my drink. I knew that. So eventually I had to get out of the fucking car and get into the back seat. and let somebody else take control of my will. Now, don't get me wrong. I say this all the time. My higher power, yeah, he's driving a car, but he's expecting my ass to Fred Flintstone that shit. Just because I'm sitting in the back seat doesn't mean I'm just back there lounging around, sightseeing. Oh, look at that pretty place. I want to stop there, right? No, I had to put in the work. So I have to be boots on the ground. I have to be propelling the vehicle forward, and I'm letting God or a power greater than me drive my vehicle. Now, I see this a lot with folks. I see this so much with folks. They'll say, okay, God, you know what? I put you in charge. You're driving my vehicle. This is great. I'm finally back on the road to recovery. This is good. This is awesome. Pull over here, get out, let me drive again. That's the dumbest fucking thing I have ever done. Because I've done it too. I've done it. Oh, God, you've turned things around. Okay, here, it's time for you to pull over and let me get back in the driver's seat. And sure enough, back off into the ditch. I want to encourage you today, once you find that power greater than yourself, and you can call it God, you can call it whatever you want, I don't care. But once you realize that your driving record, you can go back and look at your own personal history with alcoholism or drug abuse, and you realize that, shit, your driving record sucks too. And you find an entity to put in the driver's seat, don't let them out. Don't take them out of the driver's seat. Don't you start trying to take back over the vehicle. Because again, every time I try to take over the vehicle, I always ended up crashing the car, and I don't want to crash anymore. I want to encourage you today, find that power that's greater than you. And I'm not talking religion, I'm not talking God. I'm the most anti-religious person you'll ever meet too, by the way. Find a power greater than yourself. Find something that is greater than you, greater than me, greater than all of us, that you can start putting your faith and trust in. Put them in the driver's seat and leave them there. So with that being said, I'll let you guys go. Thank you guys for letting me come in and share 5 to 10 minutes of your day with you. You guys absolutely keep me sober, and I cannot be any more appreciative. If there's a topic you'd like to hear discussed on these morning monologues, feel free to email it directly to me, Drew, D-R-E-W, at recoveryclassroom.org. I'll take a look at it, see what we can do. Again, if you're local to the Huntington, West Virginia area, tonight, 7 o'clock, 5747 East Pea Ridge Road for our Crosstalk Friday. We'll be talking again soon. Remember, guys, you can't get drunk if you don't take that first drink.